Assam Rifles ration trucks blocked in Manipur. Now, people in the mighty areas have been, it is alleged, blocking the trucks who are taking the rations for the Assam Rifles. And why they are doing it? They are saying that they are being impartial, they are not being neutral, and they are being supportive of the Kuki tribal groups. So, this is the allegations that they are making, and as a response to it, they are trying to block the passage. Okay. Now, the highway in question is NH2. So, remember this highway number that passes through here is National Highway 2, an important prelims kind of information. Okay. Now, apart from it, Assam Rifle is a longest serving paramilitary force, and it is being accused of partisan and siding with Kukis in ongoing conflict. Okay. Now, let us try to first understand this conflict and what I will call the root cause of this conflict. Number one, that these Maitis are describing Kukis who are tribals and who are living in the hilly areas. In Manipur, the valley area is only 10% of the overall territory of Manipur, whereas the hilly area is the remaining part of the Manipur. Okay. Now, it is this 10% of the small area where 64% of the population of Manipur lives. And in the 64%, the majority are Meeti people. Majority are Meeti people. And they are mostly Hindus. Okay. On hilly areas, tribals such as Kukis are living. Okay. And these are majority Christian. Okay. So, one angle is religious. Other angle is tribal and versus non-tribals. Third angle is hilly people versus plain people or valley people. Okay. Now, let us understand another important thing, that since the Maitis are only constituted or living under 10% of the territory, they feel themselves as land scarce. Okay. And what is the reason? There is also a background to it. They feel that they are deprived of resources. I will discuss this. But another important thing that we have to understand from here, that in the total 60 seats or 60 MLAs that are there in the assembly, the 40 comes from the valley, okay, understood here, and 20 comes from the hills. So, hilly people are also saying that there is a political discrimination against us. So, this is another fault line. Now, let us come to the land scarcity aspect. Okay. So, in hill, Nagas are there who are practicing fixed cultivation. Okay. So, this is called territorial cultivation. That means they are making the plains in the hills and they are cultivating whatever they want to. Okay. Second is Kukis. Now, these Kukis are practicing shifting cultivation, which is also called jhoom cultivation. So, in this, they clear forest, make it fit for cultivation, practice cultivation on that forest land for some time until unless the fertility of the land is exhausted, and they move to the new forest patch, clear it, abandon the first one, clear it, and then cultivate this. So, this is shifting cultivation. So, what happens as a result of this? They are expanding. So, this is leading to conflict because the other people are feeling that we are deprived of our resources. Another reason, that across the border from Myanmar, especially with the military takeover of the Myanmar, lot of ethnic ties are there between people in this side of the border and that side of the border. So many Kukis have been migrating illegally into the Manipur, and these Kuki, the indigenous Kuki people, are giving shelter to them. So they are also increasing in their number. Okay, that's why they are saying that they are illegal or they are foreigners. Okay, so this is another angle, another fault line that is creating the problem. So in the entire process, when the armed forces involve themselves, so every side is alleging that the armed forces are not being impartial, they are being partial and they are favoring the other side. So all the sides to the conflict are basically arguing for the same. Okay. Now let us know something about Assam Rifles. Okay. So Assam Rifle is one of the 7 central armed police force. So basically armed police force it is. But it is a unique armed police force. Why it is a unique armed police force? First of all, let us see what are other armed police force and then I will come to the unique aspects of it. The other being CRPF, Border Security Force, Sashastra Seema Bal, etc. that you can know from here. Now, it's as a being police force, the main task is to maintain law and order. And it is dedicated to Northeast, so it is in the Northeast. Okay. Now, Assam Rifle also guards border with Myanmar in the region. This is the additional responsibility of Assam Rifle. Now, it was constituted by the Britishers in 1835 and it was then called Kachar Levi. Okay. Kachar Levi. Okay. It was there to protect the British estates there in the Northeast. And initially, there were only just 750 men who were recruited into it. Gradually, its role and function had started expanding during the British area itself, and later on it was renamed as Assam Frontier Force. Later on it was renamed as one. Okay. Now, it has also taken part in world wars. So, since of its legacy, its history and its taking part in world wars led to its evolution, its training method, etc. on the military lines. So, even though it's a police force, it is a different kind of, qualitatively different kind of a force because its evolution has been as a military only. If we see, its regimentation system is also on line of Indian military. Its operational control is also with Indian Army. It is under the Ministry of Defence. Whereas it's as a being of, then the question will come, why it is called a paramilitary force then or central armed police force? Because its administrative control lies with Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs. So what is the administrative control? That means its recruitment, its perks, pensions, etc. are taken care of by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Whereas the operational part, its transfers, etc. are taken care by the Indian Army or Ministry of Defence. Okay. So this is the uniqueness of this force because of the unique role that it plays for the defense of the nation. Okay. Now this also gives rise to certain controversies. Okay. Now what is the controversy that is coming because of the dual control? So first of all, we have to understand that Ministry of Defence, being the operational authority of this, you will see that it is not headed by its rank of DG and IG. is not headed by the IPS officers, but it is headed by the Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant General, sorry, not Governor, Lieutenant General of Indian Army. Its authority, its almost all positions are basically manned by the Indian Army. So its control rests with the Indian Army. Okay. Now, other forces, this is not the case. Other paramilitary forces, the DG, IG operations, etc., are basically people from IPS. Okay. So now, what happens? That there is a power tussle goes between two ministries. Now, Ministry of Defence wants control should stay with it properly, and Ministry of Home Affairs wants it should also have the operational authority over the forces. Now, they are giving some arguments. For example, Ministry of Defence arguing that this force is unique because it has evolved on the lines of a military force and never as a police force. Therefore, it has its control must reside with us. For example, its regimentation system is also in line with the Indian Army. Okay, so that's why Ministry of Defence wants that control should rest with it. Okay, and also the members of the Assam Rifles are also divided. Some will feel that if full control comes with the Ministry of Defence, they will be better off, because they will feel that they will get better perks. For example, Army, which gets the better perks. Right? But then there are critics in the Assam Rifles itself. They say that central paramilitary force are not given one rank, one pension, whereas the Army is given that. Second thing, that Army personnel will retire at the early age. Therefore, their perks, their benefits, etc. are higher, whereas this service is for the 60 years. Okay, so therefore, their perks and benefits cannot match with the people in the Army. Okay, so these are different set of arguments that are propagated. In fact, Ministry of Defence is going to an extent that they are saying that not only the Assam Rifles control should be there with their hand, but even the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, ITBP, should also be with them. Okay, so these are some of the important arguments that they are making, and we have to understand ultimately our goal is to protect the internal security of our country, and whatever is required to enhance the smooth functioning of these armed forces, better coordination, better intelligence sharing, etc. among them should be done. Okay. Now, contributions of Assam Rifles. They fought in 2 world wars, including Sino-India War of 1962. It is used as an anti-insurgency force against militant groups in northeast. The post-independence role of Assam Rifle continued to evolve. For example, conventional combat role during Sino-India War in 1962 and operating in foreign land as part of Indian peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka in Operation Pawan in 1987. So these are some of the important contribution of this force. This is also remains the most awarded paramilitary force in both pre and post independence era, whether it's Veer Chakra or any kind of gallantry award. This is the most awarded paramilitary force. Again, the unique nature of Assam Rifles is dual control. I had already discussed. The administrative control comes with Ministry of Home Affairs. The operational control comes with Indian Army or under the Ministry of Defence. Hence, the salaries and infrastructure for this force is provided by the Ministry of Home Affairs, and deployment, posting, transfer, deputation, etc. is decided by the Indian Army.